true believers. This is Modular Media, your podcast for comics, movies, merchandise, and more. I am your host, Boingo Writer, and with me, as always, in the bullpen,
representing the part-time competition, the Vacuuminator is here.
oh, part-time.
Yeah. I'm going to be making a lot of Harrison Ford references tonight, because Red Hulk. He's going to be Red Hulk in Captain America Brave New World, right? Right?
I don't know, because we're not going to get any promotion for it for the next few months.
Yeah. Oh boy. So you might be wondering why we're suddenly just jumping right back into EMH when Secret Invasion isn't even over yet.
And no, it's not because we're tired of an AI intro and we'd rather have a real intro. So I'll explain it because
yeah. So I did a stream on my channel where I went on an opinionated rant about this, so I'm gonna let Boingo have the floor for most of this, actually.
Okay, so for people who are unaware, and I don't know how you are, two of the major entertainment guilds, which is another word for union, are currently on strike. This is the Writers Guild of America and the Screen Actors Guild. And whatever the fuck AFTA means. It's whatever's related to theater.
It was the Guild for Stage Actors that just kind of got absorbed into SAG.
But basically, they have both went to the studio organizer bit. They basically went to the organization that negotiates on behalf of the studios, and the studios would not give them what they want, so they were like, all right, cool, we'll strike. And part of that is what they asked the public to do, to how you can support the strike, whether that's don't cross the picket line, boycotts whatsoever. For the Writers Guild, the boycott was just basically, hey, don't work with them if they ask you to do anything. You're free to keep watching stuff, you're free to keep engaging with it, whatever. However, the Screen Actors, that's why we were still talking about shows as the Writers Guild was striking, because they didn't ask for that. However, the Screen Actors Guild has basically asked that influencers refrain from promotion, whether paid or not. And considering, no matter how small we are, on some level we are influencers, and I would also not like to jeopardize any member of Modular Media's chances of never being able to join the Writers Guild or SAG. I basically proposed the idea that it would be better to work with solidarity to our fellow creatives and basically not talk about Secret Invasion, My Adventures Superman, or any other current production TV show or movie, so long as the strike is happening.
Any American-produced union productions.
Yes.
So we're still going to be talking about the Toei and the Tsuburaya shows on Twit, but we already decided to stop covering Power Rangers for another reason, so that's not a problem. And the Power Rangers isn't even a union production most of the time, so
yeah.
Yeah. It sucks. We'll probably never get to complete our series of Secret Invasion discussions, but I mean, like, was anybody really clamoring for those? It feels like that was like eating your vegetables to get to the nice
Superman.
Juicy steak that is My Adventures with Superman.
I mean, I like Secret Invasion so far.
I like Secret Invasion, but it's not as fun to talk about.
It's a great show to watch, not great show to talk. But
I mean, I didn't even really like this week's episode of Superman all that much, but that is as much as we should probably say on those topics.
You should watch Indian superhero movies. I have watched the first Bahubali, if I remember. That's the
Oh, here's what we should do. We should watch Italian Spider-Man.
That's the one made by the people who made that Australian fucking Toku show I showed you forever ago.
Yeah.
Um, and I need to watch the second one, and I need to watch RRR. I know I need to. I know they're not superhero movies, but like, cinema from that place of the world just reminded me of that. But yeah, so we're basically not going to talk about them in support.
It's still okay to talk about old stuff, though.
Yeah.
So we're going to finish out Avengers EMH over the next few weeks. And if the strike is still going at that point, which honestly, I honestly expect it to be still going by next spring, just with the way
The
people have been
studios have,
talking about things.
yeah.
That being said, though, the studios have it's come out over the last couple of days. The studios have lost a lot of money just in the first few weeks of this alone.
Netflix has already lost enough in the stock market of their stock prices to equal what the writers demanded. If they just paid it, they wouldn't. This is funny.
And another fun thing I found out just yesterday, the major production company that like supports all the independent productions in and around Hollywood, they agreed up front.
Oh yeah,
they were fine with it. Just the big studios were like, "You're being greedy. We don't want to have to give you more money."
Yeah. So by the way, that's one of the main studios that's part of that agreement is A24. So you're free to talk about A24 movies. You're free to go watch them. You're free to promote the fuck out of them. A24, they're good.
But
folks.
like Disney, Paramount, Fox, Warner Brothers, Amazon, all of them refused. So fuck them.
Yeah. And many other smaller studios basically agreed to all the things, and they have a separate contract. Yeah, that's what A24. You're good to go. Several other smaller studios are good to go. There is, if we're just talking about the stuff happening with the strike, there's also heavy implication that the Teamsters are going to strike.
Yeah. Could cripple the American economy in like a day.
Oh, it will cripple the American economy in a day. For people who aren't aware, the Teamsters are basically the delivery man union. UPS, USPS, FedEx. I mean, specifically they're with their contract of UPS, but hey, if your buddy is striking, maybe you start slacking off on your job till they get their stuff.
Maybe we finally get Amazon in on that union. But it's also been like that's one of those things where I'm like, yes, those people have been underserved for years. They've been getting a rawer and rawer deal, like basically since Amazon started becoming more of a normalized thing, and the pandemic really worsened it. But also, I would like it if they could hold off just another couple of weeks because I'm waiting for a very important legal document to come.
Oh God!
Like strike, but let me get the title for my new car first, please.
That's fair. That's a fair thing to be worried about. But that kind of stuff is usually sent with USPS, and if they're striking UPS, you might be okay. But but even if they do strike, we support the Teamsters. We support any organization striking. There's even rumors that the UAW will be striking, which is the United Auto Workers, which are the people who build cars.
That would be insane. That would fuck up the school I work for, actually, because they have a major program with Michelin.
Like, legitimately, some of the biggest unions and guilds in America are currently... They're not having it. And people are seeing the power that they're doing, because even though things like the studios haven't relented yet, they are seeing the negative impact that the strike is having on studios. And people are a lot less susceptible to that of the propaganda this time than last time.
I think eventually everyone will get what they're asking for. The studios will relent. They just have to get shit to cover their own asses in place first. And we've already seen signs of that. Netflix announced in just this last week that they're getting rid of their lowest paid ad-free level. And I got an email from YouTube Premium a couple weeks ago saying that they were going to raise the price of that subscription at the end of the year.
Here's the thing. They don't have to do that.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They have enough money to pay everybody and keep prices the same,
But
they would
that
just
would
make less.
require them to lose money, Boingo.
Yeah, they would make less profit. That's the
They
big.
can't have the biggest yacht anymore, Boingo.
Honestly, Aki, I will say this as an American, the American economy, for like, I wouldn't. It's callous of me. For the most part, can crash a little bit, and the world will be okay.
Here's the thing, like, I'm close to being in the low income bracket. I think you don't mind me saying you're pretty much in the low income bracket. So if the economy crashed, it would fuck both of us pretty badly. But
no more than it's already fucking us.
For the world as at large, it would be a good thing. End of day. And I mean, anybody who's seen one of my biggest videos knows, like, a core part of my philosophy is literally the Star Trek quote: "The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few."
The only problem I could see is if the American economy goes full Great Recession, Great Depression style economic crash, is fundamentally the countries with a large service industry for Americans. Like, I hate to use this very stereotypical example, but like Indian call centers.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, if you're going to either, I could see it going either way of cutting them out of the situation or just doubling down. Either way, who knows?
I hope you guys persevere if that happens. I don't want you guys to suffer too much. Thank you, Aki. That actually means a bit coming from you.
Yeah. And it's just America has been on the precipice, and I think it's incredibly ironic and beautiful that the writers were the ones who kind of kickstarted it.
Artists making change wherever they go.
Because we can trace this all the way back to the 2008 writer's strike.
Yeah. Well, hell, look at the last time actors struck. Like, what was it, 60 years ago? That was over residuals too.
The last time the actors strike was in the 80s. The last time the actors and the writers struck at the same time was in the 60s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I would. Well, still, like, the 80s strike was over residuals as well.
Yeah. It's always about it's always about making sure that they get paid, and that's the big thing.
Yeah. And also and now this time there's also the added bonus of like, hey, don't fucking clone us in computers and start making us do shit we don't want to do.
Dear God, the fact that part of the negotiation got leaked, best thing in the fucking world. Because that immediately made everyone just like, oh, that's extremely fucked.
Yeah. Like, Simon Pegg did an interview the other day where he was like, I would be mortified if a studio got full control of my likeness and then started, like, putting me in commercials for products I don't agree with. And it's like, I hadn't even thought of that as a thing with AI before, but yeah, that would be fucked.
That's already happened to a lot of people with voice acting AI replicas. There was one voice actress who just had to get off the internet. I can't remember her name. It was a bad situation. But there's also some other strike news that I want to mention because it's relevant. I think it's the IWAST. It's the Animators Guild. They're working with the animators from Warner Brothers and Disney to try and get them under the fold. Disney has not recognized the union yet. I don't remember if WB made a statement. Because actors and others will be protected by terrified about regular people being taken advantage of. Yeah. I mean, hey, they're not regular people by most people's standards, but look at streamers.
Yeah.
Like, listen to people like, fucking, who's the woman who did the, you wouldn't know, I'm trying to remember her name, who did the Streamers Awards. She's dating Ludwig. Okay, we'll just go with a different example. Like, think of all the porn photoshops that Pokemon's been through. Now imagine people doing that with AI. it's a load of fuck.
I mean, to an extent, that has been a thing since like Photoshop was invented with people online, but like now it's just been made even easier.
But that's a lot of fucking things to talk about the strike. We are supporting SAG. We are supporting the WGA. If the Teamsters strike, we're supporting. We don't know how we can support the Teamsters when they strike, other than going like hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for coming out for Strikecast, everybody. We hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
We're your brand new leftist podcast hosted by two white boys.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'm at the Vacuuminator. Or I'm sorry, follow me on X. I'm at the Vacuuminator. Boingo, you want to plug your social media?
You got to get it right. You're on X. You're X Vacuuminator.
Is that really what it's gonna be now?
No, they're not. I just think it'd be funny if they replaced the @ with X.
That would be fucking amazing.
Dear God.
Fuck you, Elon. I hope you die in a Tesla crash.
Hey, you know who also should get fucked? One Mr. Thunderbolt Thaddeus Ross.
You know what? That sounds like, oh man, this man just needs to get laid. He just needs to calm down. He just needs to chill out with some fucking tail.
Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, season 2, episode 9.
Nightmare in Red. They did the thing, baby. They recurring theme for this season. Mixing classic comic storyline stuff, thematics, with a thing that at the time was only like a few years old in the comics.
Yeah. We're your favorite white boys. Aw.
Oh, thank you.
This is just making me think of the fun fucking Tony Hawk meme. Me at Tony Hawk during the race war, and it's Wesley Snipes crying while cocking a gun.
Yeah.
And then it's just says Tony Hawk. I'm thankful you're even sad about it.
I appreciate the hesitation. Don't even fucking misquote that iconic piece of millennial culture.
I couldn't remember. We appreciate the hesitation. Hockey. The Thunderbolt Ross became Hulk when I saw this for the first time. Oh yeah, it is so thematically rich that I'm surprised it hadn't happened sooner.
Yeah, it is a very interesting thing at the time of the comics. I'm proud of the show for capitalizing on it so soon and making it feel so natural within their story. Because like this came out. This episode I think aired around the same time as Fear itself was happening, which was like my first event I read as it was coming out, and I remember being like, "What? There's a Red Hulk, and there's a Red She-Hulk. What the fuck? What's going on? Okay, they're gone. They're not in the rest of the story. All right, because they have like brief scenes at the beginning of it with Bruce, but
like you look
it's
at
still a new thing at the time. Is what I'm trying to say.
You look at the history between Thunderbolt and the Hulk. It's like, yeah, of course it makes total sense that he is a dark reflection, and he would and in his anger of chasing the Hulk, he turns into a Hulk himself.
Yeah, and he has Phoenix powers for some reason.
No, the Red Hulk has always been heat based.
I know. I just find it funny that like the screen cap you chose, he's literally doing the Phoenix pose.
Hey, I mean Thunderbolt Ross, pretty man.
Yeah. Also, the fucking Thunderbolts are in this.
They're not the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, they're never called the Thunderbolts, but it's a very Thunderbolts-esque team.
Yeah, they're Thunderbolts-esque. I think they're called like the Crimson Guard.
Yeah, but first time we've seen Bucky since season 1 showing up as Winter Soldier, and it's like, oh, okay. You just showed me like a bunch of friggin' Hulk stuff in the previously on. I was not expecting to see Bucky back in the show finally. And then you get the first appearance of Falcon in the show.
Yeah.
And he's voiced by, oh god, I forget his name. He's voiced by like a famous live action like drama actor who you would not have expected. Let me Google it again real quick.
Imagine Thunderbolt Ross gets Phoenix and turns into a bald eagle due to his patriotism.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's one thing I enjoyed with like US Avengers was just a
He's
comedic.
voiced by Sam friggin' Wilson is voiced by Lance Riddick in this show.
Huh.
And he doesn't interact with Cap at all, at least not in this episode.
No. Um but yeah, no, this is just a fun subterfuge. Oh my god, there's a Red Hulk. We got to deal with him. Oh
Mm-hmm.
fuck.
Some nice kind of pontificating from Bruce about I don't care about the secret invasion stuff. I just want to be left alone. Who cares?
I've done all I can as Bruce. Let me
Mhm.
fish. And I love how I find it interesting that Hawkeye is just like, I want my big green friend back. You're a buzzkill. Fuck you.
Yeah. And then Hulk does come back and like immediately after the fight he's like, "Oh shit, Hawkeye and Wasp, we got to help them." It's like Hulk is really the goodest boy deep down.
Yeah. Because I
And then he
mean,
gets screwed over by Skrull Cap.
uh, fuck you, Scrap.
Mhm. I literally had a moment of like, oh, Cap's giving him reason and logic, and they're gonna work through it. And then I was like, wait,
You
oh
forgot.
fuck, oh fuck,
You forgot.
yeah, because it's been a minute since we talked about this show, and I've had to watch an episode. So I literally had that like, oh fuck moment halfway through the scene.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm sure at the time when this aired, people were like, no, don't listen to him, Hulk.
But yeah, no, that's the thing I really enjoy about the show. Of just like you said it earlier, of like how it can insert the old storylines in with the current comic storylines, and it feels seamless.
Yeah.
Like what they're doing is Secret Invasion, but it has elements of Kree Skrull War.
And like even classic there's like that opening scene where Ross goes to talk to Maria Hill with all his people and he's like, "Hey, you're going to turn over custody of this and this to me, little Missy." And he's talking like a fucking 60s character and she calls him on it and then he gets pissed off enough that he goes and becomes the Red Hulk.
Yeah. But also it's just like Winter Soldier feels like it feels Marvel is weird because it's different eras feel very, very distinct. 80s Marvel has a certain flavor, a certain funk.
Yeah.
90s Marvel has a funk. 2000s Marvel has a funk. 2010s Marvel has a funk. Like they have a distinct authorial flavor. But the way this blends those flavors. Like
It
I could have
feels like it feels like the most evergreen version of everything.
Oh, most certainly. Much in the same way, like, again, the comparison to Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a very evergreen version of those characters, the Justice League, those stories.
The only thing that's like kind of weird about it is, again, like people always say with this show, it's like everything feels very true to the comics, except for Iron Man, who was just Robert Downey Jr. because those movies were out at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, in the several years, they figured out a good balance between classic comic Tony, and contemporary RDJ Tony.
Yeah.
Like for a while there, it was just like, oh my god, this is just RDJ. And then they kind of went back to comic, and now it's kind of like a good balance for what people like of both versions.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was good.
Mm.
It's fun to see Doc Samson again.
Yeah, Doc Samson's here. There's a couple other characters that I was like, whoa, it's that guy.
He made a cameo. The irredeemable Ant-Man.
Oh yeah.
Eric O'Grady. What? I heard O'Grady. I was, what the fuck? What?
He's the guy who steals Hulk's blood, right?
No. Eric.
No, because that was yeah, because Bucky stole Hulk's blood.
Yeah.
Oh, it was as they were going in.
Yeah. And no,
O'Grady's there, and then Maria Hill grabs him and she's like, You're gonna be with me in this meeting. You're gonna like be my bodyguard.
No, I think that was Jimmy Woo.
Was that Jimmy Woo? I don't remember him
Jimmy
being
Woo's
in
in
this
this
episode.
episode. Jimmy Woo's in this episode.
Okay, I
No,
must
it's when the
have.
Red Hulk starts rampaging, and a call comes on the monitor, and Maria Hill goes like, "O'Grady, what's wrong?" And he goes like, "It's fucking everywhere! Holy shit!" Like that kind of vibe. Like, it's just like, what the fuck, Eric O'Grady? All right, hello there. I love this more than Justice League and Justice League Unlimited because of how you could just slip into the reading of the comics without much headache. Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, like Justice League is very much its own thing. It has inspiration from comic storylines, but it's very much telling its own story.
The only comic I could say is like you could watch Justice League and Unlimited and slip right into is Grant Morrison's run.
I, from what I've heard of Morrison's run, because I haven't actually read it myself, it's on my to-do list. I don't know if I'd 100% agree in that because like Morrison's run is somewhat entrenched in like stupid stuff of the time, and like him or them, excuse me, trying to create new characters.
Yeah, but it's also just like it's the Justice League. Here's the classic team. They're going on adventures. That's it's just a thing. But ultimately, I think that's it. We have to talk about Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's time
Yeah.
for some news. And
Yeah.
like we said
It's
earlier,
We're not covering adaptation news. We might check in on the strike every once in a while if there's a significant development. But for the most part, we're just going to cover comic and toy news on this show. But like, hey, guess what? A little event went down in San Diego this weekend. So there's a lot of comic and toy news to talk about. We're not going to talk about everything. I tried to like trim the fat because also on Friday there's going to be a 3-hour episode of Modular Components where we do talk about everything, and Snowcone and Buster are on that too. So this is just going to be like us kind of talking about the highlights and giving like briefer versions of our thoughts than you'll get there. Um, but that being said, do you have the comic news links
all
open,
the comic
Boingo?
news is up. First things first, we had the Eisner Awards. So let's talk about some of the winners. So, best single / one shot. We had the Vicious Cycle Book 1, Star Trek 400, Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood, number 3, Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond, and Batman One Bad Day, which won.
Yeah, I know you haven't read that, but I really liked Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler, and it's Tom King doing a book that's like a very palatable version of his style, but is still really good. And it's the artist he's most famous for working with, Mitch Gerard. So like it's an easy choice for this to win, but it's also like a deserved choice, you know?
Yep. Next we have from Best Continuing Series, Daredevil, Chip Zdarsky, Department of Truth, Jim Tynion the Fourth, Philadelphia, Rodney Barnes, Nice House on the Lake by James Tynion the Fourth. Damn, nominated twice. Good on them. Nightwing by Tom Taylor, and She-Hulk by Rainbow Rowell. Nightwing won. Congratulations, Tom Taylor.
Yeah, I I've always gone to bat for that Nightwing book, but I'll admit, as of late, it's not been up to par of my expectations of it. Honestly, I feel like Chip Zdarsky should have won for Daredevil.
I agree, though I do have a soft spot in my heart for the current She-Hulk run.
Yeah.
Best limited series, Animal Castle by Xavier Dorson, Batman One Bad Day. We have The Human Target by Tom King, Miracle Man by Gaiman and Buckham, Silver Age and Superman Space Age by Mark Russell, Mike Allred, and Laura Allred. It's because he's the only colorist I know. Human Target 1 by Tom King.
Again, I think it's really deserved because
it feels deserved, but it's also just to me it feels a little bit like giving Steven Spielberg the win, you know?
Yeah, like Tom King is kind of a critical darling at this point, and everybody loved Human Target as it was coming out. Everybody that was reading it. Because I don't want to like exclude you and be like, you're not anybody. You didn't love Human Target. but like I didn't love Superman Space Age as much as you, so I can't honestly say, in my opinion, I think it should have won over this.
Yeah.
But also, I didn't read any of the other nominations, so it's like between those two, yeah, I'd go with Human Target. But also, I don't read everything,
You
so
read the Batman One More Day series.
I did. But collectively, I would not give that any award.
I
Some of those
think
one shots were really good.
I think it's a really neat idea for a limited series, and I think it was too big for its britches. Space
Yeah,
Age is fucking Kino. It is Geechee Keen.
it was
But
good. I liked it.
best new series: the Atonement Bell by Jim Owsley, Love Everlasting again by Tom King, Public Domain by Chip Zdarsky, also drawn by Chip Zdarsky, by the way. Star Trek by Colleen Kelly and Traveling to Mars by Mark Russell. Public Domain 1, well deserved.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that because I was actually just thinking the other day, like, damn, there hasn't been an issue of Public Domain in a minute. I missed that series. I want a new issue of that because it is a fucking great book.
It is such a good human drama.
Mm-hmm. I will admit, there's part of me that would also been okay if the other Tom King book had won, but then that would have been like three things going to Tom King, and that would have really seemed like favoritism.
Yeah. Best short story: The Beekeeper's Due by Jimmy Stamp and Deborah Santos. Finding Batman by Kevin Conroy. Good Morning by Christopher Cantwell and Alex Lins. Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. Sawin' All These Years. You Get It by Jonathan Hickman. Finding Batman by Kevin Conroy won.
There was no other choice.
Yeah. It totally makes sense. It was honestly, I don't want to say it was groundbreaking for what it did, but it was interesting to see everybody's reaction to it.
Yeah, and it was so well done, and to lose him so soon after it came out, it's like, it's like when Heath Ledger won the award for playing the Joker. There was just no other choice. It was a brilliant, revolutionary take on this, and then immediately after, or like before it even came out in Heath Ledger's case, we lost the guy. So it's like you got to give it up to him.
Yeah. Best writer: Grace Ellis for Flung Out of Space, Tom King for Batman Killing Time, Batman One Bad Day, Gotham City, Year One, Human Target, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Love Everlasting. Mark Russell, Traveling to Mars, One Star Squadron, Superman Space Age, The Inkle Psychoverse. James Tynion IV for House of Slaughter, Something Killing the Children. Wyrnd, from Boom, Nice House on the Lake, Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, The Closet, and Department of Truth. And Zdarsky for Stillwater and Daredevil. James Tynion IV won. Can we just mention Chip Zdarsky got nominated for this for 2 books?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Chip Zdarsky has written a lot of shit, y'all.
I mean,
Especially
hey,
in the last couple of years.
Grace got nominated for 1 book, so.
Also, like, I've never gotten the James Tynion IV obsession. I don't. Everything I've read by him, I thought was mid as hell. Granted, I've never read like any of his really critically acclaimed creator-owned stuff, like Nice House on the Lake. But I don't know, man. I have gone with pretty much anyone else on this list but him.
He made a lot of cringe Batman villains, right?
Yeah, he was the guy who had the era of like every arc I'm going to introduce a new villain because I want royalties.
But also it's like, hey, you should probably mix up the villains every once in a while.
Yeah.
Best writer / artist: Sarah Anderson, Cryptid Club. Kate Beaton, Ducks, 2 Years of the Oil Sands. Espe, The Past. Junji Ito, Black Paradox. Zoe Thorogood, It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth. And Kate Benton won. Congratulations.
Junji Ito is the only name on this list I recognize.
Yeah, but Junji Ito's been doing this, and I don't. And part of me just thinks Junji Ito probably has no fucking shit in the world for American comic awards.
Probably.
He is amazing at stuff that deals with horror, James Tynion IV was great in Detective Comics. Specifically, was great in Justice League Dark and of his mainstream work.
I feel like I've heard something about his Justice League Dark. Did he do that event, The Witching Hour? Because I think there was a Comic Pop episode on that was like heaping praise in that story.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue. Best penciler, inker, or penciler inker team. Jason Sean Alexander, Philadelphia. Alvaro Marinas Bueno, Nice House on the Lake. Sean Phillips, Follow Me Down. Bruno Redondo, Nightwing, and Greg Smallwood, The Human Target. It's Human Target.
Yeah, that book is fucking beautiful. Also, Aki confirms he did do Witching Hour, so I guess I got to get around to reading.
Okay, we have a lot of awards, so let's just kind of pick and choose some of the winners from.
Yeah, because we've already talked about all but one of the ones I care about.
So best penciler, we already talked about. The best painter, Sana Takeda, Night Eaters. She eats the night. All right. Best cover, Bruno Redondo, Nightwing. Those are pretty damn good covers.
Yeah.
Best coloring, Jordi Belair. Best lettering, Stan Sakai, Usagi Yojimbo. Fuck yeah,
damn,
Stan.
Good for him.
Fuck yeah, Stan. I mean, he does it. He does all of it. He letters, he draws, he does all of his own stuff. It is a purely creator-owned comic.
That's awesome.
Best publication for early readers, Pigeon Will Ride a Roller Coaster. Oh, that's cute. Best publication, Frizzy. Best publication for teens, Do a Power Bomb.
Let's fucking go!
Best humor publication, Revenge of the Librarians. Best anthology, The Nib Magazine. Best reality-based work, Flung Out of Space. Best graphic memoir, Ducks 2 Years in the Oil Sands. Best graphic album, Night Eaters. Best graphic album reprint, Parker, the Martini Edition, Last Call.
Oh, nice.
Best adaptation from another medium, Chivalry by Neil Gaiman. Best U.S. edition of an international piece of media, Black Sad. That's cool. I never thought I'd see Black Sad get nominated and win a Eisner. Even though, like, Black Sad's like one of the most critically acclaimed Euro comics.
I've never heard of it, honestly.
It's a furry detective noir series. Have you ever seen like a black cat detective in a trench coat?
Can't say I have.
Okay. Well, if you had seen him, that's Black Sad. Best U.S. edition of International Materials, Asia. Shuna's Journey by Hayao Miyazaki, translated by Alex Durduk. Who else was on here? PTSD Radio, Look Back. Oh, Look Back didn't win, Buster. I'm sorry, Buster. Look Back didn't win. Black Paradox by Junji Ito. Best Archival Collection. Come on over. It's So Magic, My Perfect Life. Best Archival Collection.
Whoa.
What?
This looks fucking cool.
What?
I want to read some fucking Black Sad now. This looks like my kind of comic. Holy shit.
Oh, furry as fuck? I didn't know you were a furry.
No, I mean like the noir detective aesthetic and like throwback to those old tropes. Oh, I love it when like fucking Tom King and his ilk do that shit. I'll fucking... God damn it, I guess I'm gonna read some fucking weird furry indie comics.
No, it's not indie. It's just European.
No. What company makes this then?
It's a big company in Europe.
Oh.
I know that. I maybe Humongous? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I fucking dig Black Sad's fit. And it seems like he's got like a neat little sidekick guy and a smoking hot babe he hangs around with. Yeah, I approve of this.
There's a couple babes, I think.
Damn.
The Guard. That's who publishes them. April 37. April 1936, 87 years. Publisher of Franco-Belgian Comics.
Mm.
Who else do they have? Oh! You'll know this. They publish Asterix.
Oh. Also, Aki, I have been meaning to read The Good Asian literally since it came out. It is one of those things.
They also published Blueberry, which is like a critically acclaimed Western. And Valerian.
Oh.
Remember that movie that no one went and saw?
But the people who actually went and saw it and knew those comics were like, "This is one of the best adaptations ever."
Yeah. Yeah, that's that book. Also, 13. If you remember that hit first person shooter game from the mid 2000s, that's what that's based off of. Like get video game is based off of that comic. So,
Okay.
yeah, pretty big dick publisher over in Europe. It's just we're filthy Americans.
Yeah.
Speaking of filthy Americans, X-Men and the team that Doom's making. Doctor Doom's making a fucking making a goddamn X-Men team. What the fuck?
Yep. He's going to be a big old problem during the fall of X for the actual official X-Men team in the main book that's just called Adjectiveless X-Men. I am very excited for the debut of the Doom Men or the X-Dooms, whichever name is easier for Marvel to copyright.
Also, I am sorry to say this. Look who's on the X-Men. It's a little Miss Marvel.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to fucking get to that.
But yeah. Yeah. It looks cool. I'm excited to see more Doom. Doom's cool. I like what they're I'm interested in see what they do. SECC Marvel to reveal the true origin of X-Men's Nightcrawler.
Yeah, this is another announcement that came out of the X-Men panel, which is there's going to be a Nightcrawler and Mystique special called X-Men Blue from Cy Spurrier, because it's the latest chapter in his ongoing Nightcrawler is the best X-Men, shut up and listen to me saga.
And I think we already talked about that was pre-show. So I'm just gonna lay out my theory of what they're doing.
Oh no, we talked about this on components.
I could have sworn we did it on pre-show. I didn't know we had done it.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll talk about it on components, but I'll give a brief hey, this is probably what they're doing. The original intent for Nightcrawler was for Destiny to be his mom and Mystique to be his dad, to be his father. Because Mystique's a shapeshifter, you see, fuck gender.
Mm-hmm.
That was never put into the paper because that was always Chris Claremont's intent, but editorial at the time was like, that's a little too gay, Chris. Can you pump the brakes? And eventually they said oh, Azazel is his dad. They didn't do anything with that. So Mystique maybe.
And who fucking cares about Azazel now?
You will when you read Dark X-Men. But they may be doing that fun little retcon, which would be nice. Miss Marvel, the New Mutant trailer release. I'm not gonna click it because it's just a bunch of panels.
The book got announced a week before SDCC, but we didn't do a show last week, so I figured the trailer would be a good enough jumping on point for us to talk about this whole thing. Yes, it's official. It's 100% confirmed, even though we had all guessed it from leaks months and months ago. Kamala is being resurrected by the X-Men, and she is going to be a mutant from now on because A, MCU synergy, B, that was the plan all along. They originally wanted her to be a mutant, and then Marvel said, no, we're pushing the Inhumans right now.
Yeah.
I get everybody's frustration and adherence isn't the right word, just
bowing down to MCU canon.
No, how people are not into it.
Yeah.
I get that, but because the thing is, a lot of the early Miss Marvel comics with Kamala went out of their way to give her some nice, almost familial connections with the Inhuman royal family. One of the most iconic moments of the early G. Willow Wilson run is when Lockjaw guest stars were an issue. But given that this was the original intent and that has come out recently, I'm a little more willing to give this a chance. However, they're also doing one of the things that always just instinctively gives me pause when it comes to comics. This is being co-written by the actress that's playing Kamala in the MCU.
That's totally fair. It's understandable. She likes the character though.
Yeah.
She's passionate about it.
I mean, granted, she is a comics fan. She like spent her life trying to become an actress so that she could play Kamala in the MCU. Like that was her dream because she was a kid when the character got introduced. So like I think that's an awesome story for her. I'm really happy for her to get the job in that sense. It's just as a fellow fan, I always get pause when I hear actor is going to write comic book.
And there's also a few things that just I want to mention. They're not changing her powers. She still has the same powers, and they are not just going like, "Oh yeah, no, you're just a mutant." I've read some previews for upcoming issues. There is a mystery going on about it. They are going like, "What the fuck?" And Cyclops, which is her friend, they are friends. They have a connection.
Mhm.
Is
They're
part of
technically childhood friends.
yes, is part of trying to solve the mystery and figure things out.
Yeah. So I am going to give this a shot. If it's not great within like 3 or 4 issues, I'll probably fall off of it. But
Well, I
like
mean,
if it's at least kind of good.
Here's the thing. This is going to be a 4-issue mini.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I thought it was an ongoing.
No, this is going to be a 4-issue mini. And you know what? For a 4-issue mini, having an actress come on as a gimmick, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a lot more comfortable with that.
And if they want to do an ongoing, they can just do an ongoing afterwards.
And I mean, she's also going to be in Duggan's X-Men, we realized. So
yeah. She's going to be
and I
in
trust
Hellfire.
Duggan. He's a good writer.
Oh, Duggan's great. And if you're worried about Duggan just focusing on white people, I know people who will complain about that with X-Men characters. Duggan has been very, very purposeful avoiding that in his X-Men book.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect, but it's a lot closer to a B than it is a D.
Yeah. Or the F we all thought it was at first.
Yeah. Marvel has a new Punisher.
Yeah, so this is another thing that got announced like a week before the show, or we got a teaser about it before the show, and we didn't get to talk about it because we didn't do a show last week.
Yep.
But at SCCC, they officially announced Joe Garrison, I believe is the name of the new Punisher, and he's going to be the star of a new book that's being written by David Pepose, because they probably, Marvel as a whole, I imagine, are probably like, everybody loved Jason Aaron's run. Let's just leave the ending of that alone for a while.
Except shitheads. Shitheads didn't like it because they didn't understand what they were doing.
Yeah, well, fuck them.
But basically, this guy's a former SHIELD agent, and his bad past is caught up to him.
It's a spy book.
I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to read it. I'm excited to give it a try.
I will give it a shot. I'm not like super enthusiastic about it though.
I do enjoy the costume though. It's a good costume.
Yeah, it's a solid design. Love the you pointed out on components, but I totally agree. I love the return of the freaking belt teeth. That's a classic Punisher design thing that I've always been a fan of.
Yeah. It's just a good suit. I like how he has sci-fi weapons. That's fun. That's cute.
Mm-hmm. Also helps further distance him from shitheads.
Yep. But gang war. We're getting the fucking thing.
New street level event, everybody. It's mainly based around Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Oh no.
What do you mean? They're the only street level characters Marvel gives a shit about.
Yeah. There is going to be a Daredevil and a Luke Cage mini running as part of this. But fuck me. Miles just got out of some crazy event shit. And we were starting to get his book back on track. And now you announce this. and it's going to be directly related to whatever stupid shit Peter's got going around, I think I might just go back to not reading Spider-Man as a whole for a while.
Oh fuck! I know what they're doing.
What are they doing?
Okay, what was just one of the major characters of the Big Miles event? Scorpion,
Yeah.
who is currently a good guy. Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. Who is Peter Parker dealing with right now in the comic and is using his tentacle powers? Doc Ock.
Okay.
What did we just get a fucking preview for? Green Goblin Spider-Man. They're doing Sinister Six shit.
I don't care. Get me the fuck out of here.
All right, we'll get out of here. I'm sorry. Titans Best World, Beast World announced by DC.
Yeah, this came out of the Jim Lee panel because Jim Lee had his own panel because he's a big special boy. He's the head honcho at DC now. Mostly it was just him doing sketches and giving like anecdotes about stuff. Like he shared a really hilarious Grant Morrison quote. But the one thing they did announce there was there's going to be a Titans event going between the two Tom Taylor books of Nightwing and Titans, with also a book specifically for the event that is essentially going to be dealing directly with some of Beast Boy's animal power shit. I didn't get like more details beyond that. Sounds interesting. They've been needing like a good story to kind of clean up Beast Boy's character since Dark Crisis, and like they did some legwork with that Power Girl backup, but giving it more of a profile thing, I think will be really interesting.
And the first issue of the Titans run did some work. Like
Mhm.
they're not ignoring it.
Yeah, but I think this is probably going to make like the Tumblr Beast Boy and Raven, because I grew up on the Titans cartoon crowd, much more happy.
Look, we can't give them Starfire and Nightwing. We can give them Beast
Mhm.
Boy and Raven.
Yeah.
The powers Animal Man and Beast Boy has. Do you think they are going to give Beast Boy a new name in this arc?
It's possible. They might go back to calling him Changeling too. Also, I just want to say, since you brought Nightwing and Starfire up, that recent episode of Back Issues, where when they're talking about the part in Joker War where Nightwing goes back to being Nightwing, and him and Barbara Gordon immediately get back together, and he's like, and everybody's like, yay, except for free people from the 1980s who are like, boo, Nightwing and Starfire, and I guess people who grew up on the Titans cartoon too. That was the first time in a long time I was like, fuck yes, I agree with Sal.
But the Titans cartoon was so good.
It was good, and like I like Robin and Starfire and that. I don't fucking care enough to get involved with a debate in modern context.
I know.
Like we've said it before. You want my opinion? They should just pull an X-Men and make them a throuple.
You know what? I saw a fucking quote on Tumblr and that's basically said polyamory isn't the solution to all of your problems, but it is most certainly a solution to a lot of comic book problems. Also, I just think it's neat. Their first big their first big event, they're fighting Starro. You know, the Justice League's first big enemy.
Yeah, because a recurring theme in the book right now is, hey, remember when we were supposed to be the replacement for the Justice League? Maybe we should get back to trying to do that.
Yeah. But hey, it's cool. I'm excited. It looks neat. I'm reading Titans, so I'll read this. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, announced by DC. This feels like it's going to be DC's answer to Monsters Unleashed. How many years after?
In a way, I can see that, but also, like, first of all, the way this was announced and the way the next thing we're going to talk about was announced, there was just like a pamphlet of new solicitations that DC was giving out at their booth, and that's how this got out. It was on the cover of that, and then they put out a press release a couple days later, which is how we have all the pretty promotional images.
Huh.
This is specifically going to be the MonsterVerse. It is not like an evergreen version of Godzilla. It's not like the a specific Toho era. It is we have a license deal with Legendary. So MonsterVerse Godzilla and Kong are coming to the DC universe, and basically the impetus for the story is, hey, you know how we keep talking about how like Godzilla in the MonsterVerse is all about preserving order. He's gonna see the fact that there's so many fucking superheroes as like really chaotic, and he's gonna want to put a stop to that.
Totally
Uh,
fair. But like it, I wasn't saying, oh, it's Monsters Unleashed in a bad way. I think that Monsters Unleashed should be how most events are treated. It's a fun side story that you can just read on its own.
mhm. I also did look into. I don't know their names off the top of my head, but it's from a writer and artist I've not seen anything from before. I know one of the books the writer worked on. I heard some people saying was all right. So, like, I'm cautiously optimistic about this. I'll check out the first issue, and I'll let y'all know here on the No Prize podcast if it's worth checking out. I guess.
I mean, I'm gonna read it because it's fucking monkey.
Monkey. Look at
Monkey.
him. He's even got his big stupid axe from Godzilla versus Kong.
You say it's stupid. I say it's fucking awesome. Also,
But
we're getting a new Supergirl one shot.
yep, new Supergirl one shot. Supergirl special number 1 is coming from Mariko Tamaki in October, and I could not be more excited. Obviously, there's other people who have said like should be on Supergirl post Tom King. But I don't think Mariko Tamaki is a bad pick, even though I had not thrown her name out there, because she is a fan of the character. She's worked on Supergirl before. She did Supergirl Being Super with Joelle Jones as sort of an alt universe. What if Kara was also a baby when she came to Earth kind of thing, which I didn't love because it gave me a lot of Smallville vibes, but it wasn't bad.
You know what? You say Smallville vibes. That just makes me go like, oh, maybe I should give that a read.
I mean, like I said, it's not bad. It's worth checking out, I think. Just like don't have it in your head that like this is a definitive take on Kara. It's a cool alternate take
Yeah.
on Kara.
Because remember, I'm our resident Smallville slut.
Yeah. And so getting to see Mariko come back and do her take on main universe Kara, especially with the pitch for this story is now Kara is the one who's feeling like she's overshadowed by everyone else. It's just a musical chairs thing with the super family now of at least every couple of months somebody's going to feel like they're overshadowed by everyone else.
I mean, it's kind of hard
fun.
not to feel
It's
that.
interesting.
It's not hard not to feel that way when you're in the shadow of fucking Superman.
Yeah.
Like let's do a new book about Chinese Superman of him going like, I'm not even like really part of this family. I just have powers similar to them. And they were just like, oh cool, hang out with us. And now I feel fucking really out of my depth. And then you just have Clark go like, no, fuck it. You're bro.
I mean,
you want to be my adopted kid or my adopted brother? Either way, you're adopted.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like this is probably going to be at least kind of similar to one of my favorite Supergirl stories in recent years, taking Woman of Tomorrow out of the mix. The Walmart Giant special that was Supergirl and Batwoman. The Supergirl portion of that was actually really good because it was just a story of like her trying to figure out what she wants her civilian identity to be, and she like goes and tries to be a reporter, and it doesn't gel with her at all. And like it ends with Clark coming and being like, hey, I heard you had a rough day, let's talk about things, let's work this out. And she's like, it's just so hard fitting in this culture because it's so different than Krypton and all the technology is so much less advanced. Like I know so much more than all these people about the way the universe works, and that's really tough to keep a lid on. And he's like, maybe you should try like getting a science degree and like getting a job at Star Labs or something like that. And it's like, holy fuck, somebody remembered Supergirl has a scientific background. And then like the comic just ends in this beautiful moment of like the bunch of nice stuff happens between that as well. But it ends in like her going, you know, it's really hard living in your shadow sometimes. And he says, Kara Zor-El, you are entirely too radiant to be in anyone's shadow. It's like, that is their relationship to a T. So I'm excited for this. I hope it's at least somewhat similar to that, based on the description they gave.
I love the dynamic. Everyone's just like, how can I live up to Clark? And Clark's just like, oh, look at all these amazing people that are in my life. I love every single one. Okay, this is just a little tangent. Have you read the Daniel Warren Johnson Superman short?
I don't think I have.
Okay, I'll just give you a brief idea of it. It's John going to a preacher right after Clark gets is found and adopted, and he goes like, "Hey, hey preacher, I just adopted a kid. What do I do?" And he says like, "Well, you tell him you love him every day," and you just see a montage throughout the years.
Oh, that's who wrote that story?
Yeah, that's Daniel Warren Johnson.
I remember when that was making the rounds on social media. Holy shit, that's awesome that was him.
Yeah, and John Kent saying, "I love you, I'm proud of you, I love you," and then John Kent dies, and the Superman does it to the world. And we need that moment in Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
But that's Superman. He's proud of you.
Superman is a proud, supportive dad.
Hey, guess what?
What's up?
See you later, Aki. Aki has to go.
Have a good night. Sleep tight.
No,
I'm guessing it's nighttime there.
No, it's morning.
Oh, okay. Have a good day.
Time zones. Last Ronin 2 Evolution.
They're doing another one, folks. It sold well. It was the talk of the town. They're doing another one. Okay.
Welcome to TMNT Beyond. Because these are the 4 turtles from the end of that story.
Yeah.
New Turtles.
Turtles 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my god.
Right.
I don't know. Hopefully it's good. Yeah. I haven't read the first one. I know what all happens in it, and I know people say it's really good. I just haven't gotten to it.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, Disney is cool. Babylon 5, J. Michael Straczynski signs deal with the Black Dark Horse.
Yeah, so he's still doing Captain America. Don't worry, everybody. But he has signed a deal for any new creator-owned comic properties he wants to do are going to happen at Dark Horse. And that was a big announcement that came out of SECC. They haven't said what the first thing is going to be, but apparently they already have a couple of things in the works with him at the helm.
I didn't know JMS did a bunch of creator stuff.
Neither did I. I guess it's maybe one of those things where TV is getting so hard for him to work in that he's turning to comics.
I mean, I think it always seemed like comics was just one of the things he did. I just didn't know if I was unaware if he ever had any. I've
never heard of it before. I literally only know him for writing Marvel books.
Yeah.
And Superman that one time.
Was the Superman good?
It was good until he left, because he had to leave early before he was able to finish his story, and then they brought in another guy to try and finish it, and it got really stupid really fast.
Oh. That's unfortunate. Oh, yeah. It got the Donny Cates Thor treatment. Yeah. I mean, Donny Cates Thor treatment got the fucking Superman treatment.
I mean, Donny Cates 4 got the JMS 4 treatment.
Ugh. J. Michael Straczynski, stay on a book long enough that you can finish it right.
Please actually finish your Captain America run. I'm very excited to see what it's like.
Because that also happened on his Spider-Man run. He got one. They forced him to do one more day. Hey, guess what? We got official high-res images of the X-Men 97 toys.
Yeah, okay, toy news. So there was a lot of stuff they showed and talked about and teased. We're not going to go over everything. I've got the high-res images for the 2 full waves they revealed in the news links. And I've got 2 other important things that they showed that I would feel remiss if we did not speak about. But again, we're going to talk about these in more detail on Components on Friday. But they're doing a retro-carded wave of Marvel Legends that are directly based on the new X-Men 97 revival cartoon. And here's Gambit. He's got a new head and a new jacket sculpt.
That pose is so good.
Yeah. Like we've had most of this figure for a long time, but this is just like a slight upgrade on it. And whoever photographed it did a really good job here.
Yeah, it's really good. We got Magneto, classic
Uh,
Maggie poses.
I believe he's an entirely new sculpt. I could be wrong about that. The big thing people have been talking about is obviously the head is new, and the cape is a new sculpt. And all the Magnetos we've gotten before, the cape just like pegged into his back, and it would immediately unpeg when you started messing with him and just like jostle around and be a really annoying thing. This is actually keyed into the shoulders and glued down, so you're not going to have that issue.
Cool.
That being said, though, I'd want to replace it with a cloth cape.
We got Bishop.
Yeah, this is definitely the most animated looking of these, but it's not bad. It's an entirely new sculpt, and I dig this look for Bishop. Like, I am kind of undecided on whether or not I'm gonna watch the revival because I've not watched most of the original series. But like, as just a general Bishop figure, this kind of does it for me better than like most of the actual comic ones based on like his '90s looks to me.
Yeah. We got Rogue, classic Rogue pose.
Yep, she's got a new head and a new jacket sculpt. Looks fairly good. I've had most of this figure before, though I recently sold it off for budget reasons. But it looks like a good new iteration on it. If this is your preferred Rogue look, and I mean, the other thing you pointed this out on components. This is basically the way she looks in the current comics,
Yeah.
where it's just like a different jacket on the '90s look. So, if you're looking for a current comic Rogue, here you go.
And I really like the hand holding the glove.
That's always been a really good touch.
Yeah, hold on. I'm doing something because I realized I didn't.
Uh-oh.
Oop. There we go.
Hey, I can see in real time now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, Rogue, Storm. This is like the most reusy parts, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the only new thing here is the head, but like it's not a bad mold. I've heard people are fairly satisfied with it. I've never been a fan of I almost said Rogue of Storm having a white costume. I prefer the black version of this costume. But this is the way she looked in the cartoon. She had the white cop. She had basically this look. It's just now they've given her the mohawk as a way to differentiate it from the actual '90s episodes. So I don't know. If you want it, there it is.
Yeah, and we got Wolverine. Look at this
This
evergreen classic wolves.
This is
With
the
a hoodie.
must-have because they've taken their Wolverine buck, which has been like one of the perfect. You nailed it. Just keep reusing it to high hell, and we won't even have to complain. Wolverines, and they made it pinless, and they redid the paint scheme on basically the Apocalypse Wave version of the Tiger Stripe suit to be a little flatter, a little brighter, and to just generally gel more with both the animation and a general comics aesthetic. And they did harder plastic claws and gave him an unmasked head. Unless you're a brown suit guy, I think this is going to be the perfect evergreen Legends Wolverine going forward. And I am definitely going to get it. I'm going to be retiring my Apocalypse Wave Wolverine in order to make this the main Wolverine in my display.
The only thing I would say is if I ever get it, I am going to have to do a black wash on those fucking hairy arms so it looks like hair.
Fair enough.
Because now it just looks like he has weird scars.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
It looks so good. I'm very excited about this figure actually. And then they're doing a kids line essentially of Sort of like the current kids line for Power Rangers Dino Fury, I would say is what these are comparable to. They're 5 inches tall. The articulation is a lot more basic, but the sculpt and the paint is still there, and they each come with an effects part to demonstrate their mutant power. There's a big box set of everybody, plus Gambit, I think, is exclusive to this box set. But Cyclops, Wolverine, and Rogue are also available as single packs, and Storm is also available with the X-Jet, which is also getting a toy in here.
Nice. Overall, pretty cool. We got some more Marvel Legends. Look at all these guys. We'll just try.
Yeah.
We'll try not to talk to death about them.
Yeah, this first thing. This was my Marvel Legends like reveal of the show. You're getting a two in their VHS series for the '90s Spider-Man cartoon. We are getting Civilian Pete and Alistair Smythe. Smythe had a very unique look in this show, and he actually had a lot of involvement in the early plot lines of this show, compared to like him being a very minor, almost throwaway character in the comics. So I'm really excited that we're getting this version of him in Legends as his first Legends figure. I am definitely going to pick these two up because also like that version of Peter, that's my childhood Peter. So
And this is just a really good Smythe.
yeah. Also, somebody pointed out on a live stream I was listening to today that head be perfect for a custom Marvel Legends Captain Planet.
Huh. It's true. But yeah, they look really good.
Yeah, very excited to get them.
We got Zdarsky, Daredevil.
Yes,
Oh.
Daredevil to go with your other Daredevil, who's actually Elektra. Oh man, I am so excited about this. I know I said like the Renew Your Vows body Daredevil that came out last year. That would be my perfect evergreen shelf Daredevil.
The back though, back of the box.
I'm gonna have to get this one. I'm getting both. I haven't seen retro carded Elektra Daredevil anywhere yet, but I am definitely getting her, and I'm gonna get him, and they're going to be a nice little display, as if they were a 2-pack, as if that is how they probably should have come out, on a little area of my display at some point.
You know
I'm
what?
very
You
excited about
should
these.
find a boxing figure so he can go to hell with his dad.
Yeah. And I like customize a WWE figure to be Jack Murdoch.
Yeah. Battling Jack. We got Clea.
Yeah, classic Clea. I remember we were asking for this on the show like months and months ago. So nice to know that Hasbro watches the show. What's going on, fellas? No, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I'm gonna get it to go with my classic Strange. Looks pretty much exactly how you'd want that version of Clea to look.
Yeah. And also the Build-A-Figure is
Mindless ones, which are the minions of a Doctor Strange villain. I think we have more. Yeah, I think we have photos of them later on, but it's an interesting choice. This is Iron Man from the Midnight Suns game. It's another Iron Man, everybody. Woohoo!
Yeah, but hey, people buy them.
Yeah.
If people buy them, why not sell them?
Also, it lets them call this the Midnight Suns wave.
We got Luke Cage.
Classic Luke Cage. We got a render reveal for this a few months ago, but man, seeing it as an actual physical action figure, this is stunning. I am very, very tempted by this figure.
Yeah, it looks great. We also got Blade. Look at this man. Look at this motherfucking man.
A lot of reuse on this guy, but it's all well done and looks appropriate. And people have been asking for like more modern, more Wesley Snipes-ish Blade for a while. So nice for those folks to finally get that.
Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill.
Hey. Yeah, because he was using those in the comics for a while.
Hell yeah. Look at this man. I want him. I want Blade. I love Blade. And that's the Mindless one. Look at him. He's big and beefy.
It's an entirely new sculpt. It's about the same size as the Walgreens Thing body, they said. And it looks good. I don't have any familiarity with the Mindless ones, but I looked them up. It's cool that we're getting an army builder this size, but like, guys, you're gonna release this separately as a deluxe later, right? We're gonna actually be able to army build these at some point, right? Because I would like to do that. This looks like a pretty solid figure.
And we also got some foot ninjas.
Hand ninja,
Yeah.
or is it?
No, there's the hand.
Yeah. Marvel is the hand, Mirage is the foot. But yeah, it's the same body as the one from the Stiltman wave, but it's got a new skeleton head, and there's some different paint colors going on. It's fine reuse, appropriate for that wave, and yeah, awesome to be getting her. I'm not super familiar with her. I only know her from the Mark Waid Daredevil run where she was regular Bullseye's assistant. So but it's also an awesome design. So great to get it as an action figure finally.
Yeah. And that's all of those. They look really good.
Yeah. That wave, it should also be noted, is going to be an online retailer exclusive. It's only going to be available on Pulse, Amazon, and all the fan channel retailers like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. You're not going to be able to find this in like a Walmart or a Target because of some weird timing issues with it, Dan Yoon said on Twitter. So if you want to get this, either pre-order it or get it as soon as it goes in stock. Have some money put away for it, basically, is what I'm saying, because it's supposed to hit around October.
We also got those.
We already went over that. I didn't realize there were images for that in the other article. Sorry.
Crystar.
Crystar. You fucking pleb. His name is Crystar. And goddamn, they're really doing it. They're really doing all the old toy characters. Because for those of you who don't know, Crystar is technically the beginning of Marvel doing the heavy licensing stuff in the 80s. It started as a comic. It was, I forget who created him, but it was essentially Marvel's attempt at like a high fantasy type thing. And then Remco came and started doing action figures of it, and they wanted to do an animated series too, but it just didn't sell well enough to get all that off the ground. So it's always been kind of like an oddity, like, oh, remember that as well kind of thing in toy collecting circles. So when we recently got the announcement of like, hey, all these old toy properties are getting new omnibuses from Marvel, you're getting Crystar, you're getting the Micronauts, you're getting ROM. We all went, so there's Marvel Legends coming, right? And here it is. This is the beginning. We're getting Crystar. You know, we're getting ROM. We're getting Micronauts. It's happening, everybody.
Hell yeah. Fucking Detroit Steel and some Lady Hydra and Lady Shield.
Yeah, Detroit Steel was revealed at the Hasbro influencer breakfast that they always do on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They always have like a couple of reveals there for just the people specifically on their press list. But just today, the last day of the show, Dan Yoon put the female troopers in the display case at the Hasbro booth, and didn't exactly say how they were coming out. But I'm willing to bet this is going to be a Pulse exclusive Troop Builder 2-pack, because they've been pretty into doing one or two of those a year for a while now. And these also look like they're on that new super articulated Black Widow body. So, oh man, fairly tempting, even though I don't have like much else from these organizations in my collection.
Are you tempted to get Detroit Steel? The truest and realist American man?
To be honest, no. I don't know anything about Detroit Steel except like the little tidbits you've told me over the years. And I would much rather get this mold as its original use, the MCU Ironmonger.
That's fair. What else do we got? We got McFarlane Multiverse Batman and Robin Build-A-Wave.
Yeah, Todd had like little short panels all throughout the weekend. There was no like big McFarlane panel. So we've got this article, and then we got a couple of tweets after this of like stuff from the other panels. But
also,
the first thing he showed, Friggin' Batman and Robin wave.
Batman and Robin wave. Fuck yeah.
I Oh man, I want that Mr. Freeze, and he's probably the Build-A-Figure, so I'm probably gonna buy all five of these. Holy crap!
We also got Firestorm. Oh, I love Firestorm.
Yeah, this is the next wave of their collector's edition line, which is meant to be like, hey, here's the classic versions. Finally, this is. If you see that it's collector's edition, then that means it's meant to be the classic evergreen. Everybody wants this version. That being said, though, I have no idea what that Hawkman is supposed to be based on because he doesn't look like a classic Hawkman. He's got like blue pants and a weird gauntlet I've never seen before. This must be from like some story somebody likes.
You know what I'm gonna say? That's probably Hawkman right after the time travel crisis. Zero
I know
Hour.
what you're talking. Yeah, 0 Hour.
When they had to retcon his whole origin bullshit.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
And Sinestro. Sinestro looks cool.
Yeah.
Look at these four people.
Finally! It's finally happening, everybody! I ate so good this weekend. I had so much food. Getting a new Supergirl one-shot, and finally, a classic-looking Supergirl.
You don't get to look at Supergirl anymore, I'm sorry. Oh. Here you go.
Hey, Supergirl in... Are you really going to do this bit on me right now? DC Multiverse Supergirl is finally happening. I don't know what version it is specifically supposed to be because it looks like the Rebirth costume, but there's some details that are wrong, and that face sculpt is really weird. I need to see a physical version of this.
I know the boots are probably wrong, but it's giving me like pre-crisis vibes.
A little bit, yeah. I'll be really interesting to see how they label this when it actually gets a proper solicitation. And you know, it's more than likely I'll be picking this up when it comes out. If like I'm not going all in on multiverse. I think that ship has sailed at this point, but it's going to be one of those lines where every once in a while I'll get a bit in a piece, and this is a piece I gotta have. And now we get into the stupid shit because Todd is doing a NFT collect to build wave where it's 4 figures, 3 of which are re-releases, and 1 of which is something people have been asking for literally since the start of the line, a classic Wonder Woman. And the gimmick of this is each one of them comes with a special code, and you enter all 4 of the codes into a page on McFarlaneToyStore.com, and you get an NFT of the original Justice League #1 cover.
That's the cover?
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, there's the rest of them. Yeah, okay, cool. Fuck off, yeah. Todd. Fuck off, Todd! Oh, fuck, it's more Todd.
Yeah, we got more Todd. This is their next wave of the Batman 66 Retro Collection. We're getting an unmasked Robin. We're getting a freaking George Reeves Superman. And we're getting Robot Batman and Lord Deathman from the freaking Batman 66 manga.
Oh my god, can we get a real Lord Deathman?
What do you mean a real Lord Deathman?
Like an actual comics Lord Deathman. They brought him into the comics.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's... Yeah, they should do him in Multiverse soon. But awesome that he's happening in this line. Awesome that we're getting a new George Reeves Superman figure.
Yeah.
Boomers rejoice.
I mean, George probably wouldn't be too happy about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, money-wise, maybe, but like...
Yeah.
Also, they're doing Bateas. They're doing new Bateas figures. Look at these guys.
They're doing a new Batman animated series subline, and this is the first McFarlane line that's actually going to be 6-inch. It is not 7-inch like the multiverse scale. It is true 6-inch, and it is going to be very animation accurate. These are all new sculpts. They're not reused from the old DC Collectibles tooling, and it's going to be a first wave of Batman, Robin, Scarecrow, and Mr. Freeze with a freaking Condiment King Build-A-Figure This is two waves now with Todd where I'm like, normally I wouldn't buy most of these, but I friggin' really want that Build-A-Figure, so I might buy the whole wave just to get that. And also there's a deluxe Bat Cycle that has lights and sounds.
Neat, cool.
It's gonna be a
What
home run for him because people love BTAS.
is that's not that's a cloth cape.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
He does cloth capes occasionally.
Oh. NECA, TMNT, look at all these guys. Look at all these
Yeah.
cool NECA dudes.
NECA never does like a panel for their TMNT stuff. They just have a case, and every day they put new stuff out.
Yeah. Here we
So
got Last Ronin fighting off some Singes.
yeah, they got a whole Last Ronin display. Obviously, the Last Ronin himself has been out for a while. The Sinjas are about to come out, so cool that people got like an in-person look at them early. And then like I think most of the rest of this is like this is about to come out or it's going to come out later this year. So like there's the Dying Raph. Still crazy that they made that.
Michelangelo.
Flashback Mikey, and you can
Well,
see
here's the
behind
thing.
him.
That's what he looks like when Mikey's hallucinating his brothers.
Oh,
Donnie
yeah.
and Splinter.
Look at them. Look at those boys.
Yeah. Look at these
Uh,
guys.
yeah, I'm actually kind of tempted by that footbot. I think it's a really cool design. Old Man Casey is neat too. Don't know if I need it. There was another Casey thing that got revealed just today that I am very tempted by though. We'll get to that when we get to that. Also,
Fugitoid.
yeah, they said that the destroyed Fugitoid is going to be part of an accessory set specifically for Last Ronin that they're going to be doing. That's going to come with a lot of like neat bits and bobs. Like there's some street signs in this display that are also going to be in that. And that's a thing NECA does with TMNT. Like once or twice a year, they'll just be like, here's a big accessory set for one of the specific sublines that just has like a bunch of random shit we couldn't fit in with figures. And I really dig that specifically about their approach to Ninja Turtles. I wish more toy lines would do accessory sets.
Have they done just a regular Fugitoid figure?
Yeah, I think they did a Mirage Comics one last year, actually.
Okay. Leo.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him in his big old paunch.
Another ninja. Look at some of these
Tick bots. I don't know if that's what they're called. They just look like ticks to me.
well, I mean, they're based off of the Baxter Stockman robots.
Oh, so they're like the Last Ronin Mousers.
Yeah. Look at all these guys. Look at all of them.
This is
all
the
stuff that's kind of like out or soon to be out.
that guy's new. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but I was watching like a walkthrough of the NECA booth today, and I remember specifically the guy who was talking to the NECA representative. The NECA representative.
The NECA sensitive.
Yeah, that was talking to the YouTuber was like, this guy specifically is somebody that Kevin Eastman really wanted us to do. Like every once in a while, we'll have meetings with him where we're just like showing him stuff we're working on because he's part of the license deal that he gets to be involved with everything, and he's like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's cool. Hey, you're gonna do this guy soon, right? I was doing a sketch of that guy the other day, and I think it'd be real neat for him to have a figure. And they're like, and the representative was like, whenever he says something like that, we just immediately are like, yeah, that's coming out as soon as possible, sir.
That's fun. That's cute, but it's also like, maybe you shouldn't derail a thing for a guy who's a little sentimental of some dumb characters he made.
Yeah, that's true.
But then
like,
again, this is badass. I like it.
Yeah, it's weird, like Demon Goat Man.
And then we got the Time Lady.
Her name?
Yeah, Renette. Casey, classic Casey.
Yeah, that Casey and Baxter are new apparently.
Oh my god, he has an IBM. Look at that PC.
Yeah, he's gonna come with that, they said.
It's fucking great. Some classic turtles.
Yeah, those turtles just came out. They were a Target exclusive 4-pack. I really wanted to get them and I couldn't find them anywhere. But they're pretty good
the
from
Fugitoid.
reports. Yep, there's the Fugitoid.
Is that the IndieWire?
I'm not sure. I haven't actually watched a review of it.
Yeah, no, that all looks good. Rat King.
Rat King was one of the new reveals. They had him in the sewer like this the first night, but then after people found him and were posting about him on social media, they moved him more to the front of the case for people to get a good look at him.
Yeah.
Um, Mikey the Wanderer is a thing from like a very specific issue of Mirage that they're just like, oh, we have a turtle body, we can do this weird alternate look now
Mm,
for Mirage. Let's just do this, and that's coming out pretty soon apparently.
neat. Got some
Uh,
more. We got some more guys.
Battle Damage Shredder and the Ultimate Foot Soldier, which comes with a bunch of accessories, and the Foot Enforcers behind them, all looking great. I really dig their Mirage takes on the Foot Soldiers.
Got some Krang bots and some Krang.
Yeah, Krang.
Look at these guys. We got some movie guys.
Yep, they're just leaning full on into Secret of the Ooze this year. So there's going to be a Foot Ninja 2-pack. There's going to be a Professor Perry 2-pack where you're going to get both of his looks from the movie in one pack. They're doing Shredder's Trash Throne and the new Shredder from the movie, obviously. And they've already done a Tokar and Razar. Those came out a couple of years ago. But they're saying like, oh yeah, all that's gonna fit aesthetically together. And they just put out Kano, but they're doing a alternate version of Kano in a 2-pack with a foot soldier. That's meant to be like a training version of him.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah.
We got some Universal guys. We got.
It's weird that they're continuing this line because like I've been enjoying spectating this line. But the fact that they're keeping it going after they've hit all the major characters and they're just like, well, there's a couple other monsters. Let's just do a couple of turtles again. So you're getting Raph as the Wolfman and Leo as the creature from the Black Lagoon. And I'm like, are you supposed to pick and choose which one you display now? Like,
Know what I can know what I say? It's a reference to how they just kept giving costumes to the turtles in the '80s toy line.
No, I mean, yeah, obviously, it's just like it's a weird thing from my kind of logical brain about toys.
And these
but
are some guys we've seen. Have we seen this?
Archie Comics, we've seen most of these already. I think we've got a couple of new ones either here or in the next article. Yeah, all these are out. They're doing a. I thought these were all individual releases. They're doing a Usagi Yojimbo Through the Years 4-pack. That is going to be the Usagi we already have, a very specific, like, classic Stance Takai Usagi, Samurai Usagi, and Future Cyborg Usagi. And they're going to come with a bunch of different versions of the little dino sidekick that he has.
That's not a sidekick.
Okay. I don't know anything about Usagi. I apologize.
No, basically, it's understandable. If everybody is an animal in that world, what are the animals? These guys.
Oh, so it's like his pet?
They're the chickens. They're the rabbits.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like a weird little fantasy detail in the story.
Yeah, that's good world building. I dig that.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, like, that's fucking cool. Mondo Gecko? Hell yeah.
Archie Comics Mondo Gecko, which is technically the first media appearance of Mondo Gecko. All new sculpt, looks great. And then freaking Belly Bomb, an Archie Comics only character. And we were just excited about this because it's a crazy, goofy looking sculpt. In that walkthrough video I watched, I found out the individual eye is going to be able to move. There's going to be a joint at the base of the head and the base of the neck. The mouth opens, and there's a sticking out tongue piece you can plug into it.
Oh my god. Everyone's gonna need this guy.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I love it.
Look at that guy. Look at this. Look at his cop.
Look at RoboCop.
Rex. Look at Rex. He's cool looking.
Yeah.
And we're getting this big motherfucker.
Big. They described this as about the same scale and price point as the 1/4 scale turtles, but it is literally meant to be giant Krang from the 80s cartoon.
Yeah. Look at this guy. He's great. Boxes for the Ronin, making a cool thing. Yeah, just all the boxes. Okay, cool. Mikey, Donnie.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're doing do a classic cartoon accessory pack that's going to come with that spinning bow staff and a specific hand for it. And the turtle van with the updated roof and everything is about ready to ship, they said.
Nice. All right, yeah, there's space. There's these
Yeah.
guys.
I love business casual Casey. I'm kind of tempted by that one, to be honest.
Well, I mean, that's from a very specific episode of the cartoon.
Yeah, and apparently he has a bunch of alternate parts because like he takes the jacket off at one point, and in some shots he's got gloves, and some shots he doesn't. So like that's great attention to detail. Uh, Friggin' Space Usagi from the cartoon, and the Space Adventure and Samurai Adventure, Donnie and Mikey, they look great. You know, like I used to be a very anti-NECA person because they had horrible build quality to their figures back in the day. But like since they've really gotten into the swing of things with TMNT, they have really come into their own as like a collector-friendly toy company. I am super tempted by their TMNT stuff all the time.
It's good looking stuff. All right, next bit.
Yeah.
Mayfex, Captain America, and Phoenix. Look at these guys. Look at these.
So all the Mayfex stuff is technically not San Diego Comic-Con, but there was a Japanese toy show happening at around the same time where all this came from, and it's still news, and it's all very interesting. I think this Captain America looks good, but I think the colors are a little too bright for my taste. Like, it's probably going to be a great action figure, but I would pass on it personally because like I'm just more happy with the recent Marvel Legends, and Phoenix looks great actually. I think they did a great job of capturing this look. All their X-Men ones have been pretty good from what I've heard, but I have yet to pick any of them up.
That's fair. They look good.
Mhm.
Next up, we have some more Mayfex. We are getting some Apocalypse guys.
Yeah, there's Apocalypse Wolverine, and I think is
Cyclops.
that Bishop in the background?
That's Cyclops.
Oh, okay. Yeah, crazy that they're actually doing those looks, but I mean Marvel Legends did them not too long ago.
Yeah.
So like there's an audience for it certainly. Look good for what they are. This
Mayfex
was the big
Daredevil.
one I saw everybody talking about because Mayfex is like the fan favorite import company right now for comic collectors. And them doing a Daredevil, oh man, that's really exciting.
That's a good Daredevil.
I'm pretty tempted.
And
Spider-Man 2099.
Miguel O'Hara.
Actual comic book Miguel O'Hara. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Looks good, looks good. We also got some DC guys from Mayfex.
Yep, continuing on their Hush and Return of Superman lines, we're getting Scarecrow, who looks phenomenal.
We are getting Superboy.
Yep, looks very good for that version of Superboy.
And we're getting Riddler.
Yeah, I think Riddler and Scarecrow look very, very good. The only change I would make to Riddler is just like put question marks on the suit jacket, but also that's not how he looked in this story. That's just my aesthetic preference for Riddler is this look, but there's question marks on the suit jacket.
You know what I would do if I ever got to decide what the Riddler was supposed to look like? It would look like he has pinstripes, but if you get close, they're question marks.
Oh, that would be sick, actually. Yeah. But yeah, the Batman Hush line continues to be like one of the best DC collector figures on the market, and I'm consistently tempted by all of it. But MezcoCon has also been going on online this weekend, and the first thing we got revealed out of that's relevant to this show is they're doing a Nightwing, and it looks like what you'd expect a Mezco Nightwing to look like. It's a lot more tactical. It's got some details that aren't there in the comic version, but it also looks like a pretty good action figure.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Did anybody ever answer about your ass question?
No.
Okay.
Because I guess spoilers for modular components, nobody who's watching live right now. Comment if you're watching on the replay, though. I added Mezco and was just like, hey, what's that ass sculpt look like?
But we also get a Casey from Mezco.
Yep, they're not just doing a Turtles box set and then moving on from that license. They're doing more. This makes me confident we might get a Shredder and Foot Soldiers as well.
Yeah.
And like, oh, Mezco doing a Casey. That's like possible figure of the year right there, just on the prospect alone. Very, very tempted by this.
Looks great. And we also got a Mezco mask.
Fuck yes, this is the kind of shit that Mezco excels at, of like perfect, all you could ever ask for collector figures of an obscure independent comic thing going by modern audiences.
Well, here's the thing. This also isn't the mask. Remember, this is Greenface.
Yeah, because a lot of people think of the mask, they only know the Jim Carrey movie, but this is the scary green face guy from those 90s comics.
This is the original horror comic.
Yeah, and you can bet this is going to come with some wild ass accessories. I am so excited to see what the full solicitation for this looks like, just to see what the accessories are.
Oh,
I don't think I'll end up getting it because it's going to be a very expensive figure of a character I don't know much about outside of the Jim Carrey movie, but I'm going to be very interested to see how it turns out as a toy fan.
Oh, most definitely. It looks great though.
But that's the news. We did it. We did the news.
Time to talk about comics.
Oh boy, let's go.
Let's fucking go, bitches. Hey, guess what?
What?
Darkwing Duck.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it's pretty good. It's a okay. Have you ever seen an episode of Darkwing Duck?
No.
How?
I just haven't.
Okay. Well, basically, they're doing a superhero museum. He's like, oh, they're doing a thing on Darkwing. I should.
Wait, I've seen that one episode of the DuckTales revival, where it's like Darkwing Duck is a show. Does that count?
I'd say partially. I mean, Negaduck shows up technically.
Yeah.
But basically, there's a superhero museum. He goes to the museum expecting to get in for free. The security guard's like, "Oh, you're Darkwing? Who gives a shit? You still got to pay to get in." and they're walking through the museum, and like they're walking through made up superheroes, and he's like, Darkwing's like, I've met him. He's not that tall. Without her gadget, she's nothing. All this kind of stuff. They walk past the Hall of Sidekicks, and you walk in, and it's like the big main event there is Launchpad. Because he's like the best sidekick. And there's a dude there going like, oh, Mr. McQuack. You can call me Launchpad. No. You are truly a great person, McQuack. You and your great compass that's here on display. And it's like, is ODW's calling me. Yes, like all good sidekicks do. Right, all that kind of stuff. And Darkwing's going like, where the fuck is the Darkwing exhibit? And Launchpad points, oh, it's right there. It's the Justice Ducks. Justice Ducks.
Oh no.
And he's like, what? And it's the entire thing is just like, Darkwing is a piece of shit, but the other Justice Ducks came in and saved his ass. It's like, that's not how the story went. And then it's just like a big fucking display for Gizmo Duck. And then there's a big fucking display for Morgan. And then there's a big fucking display for Stegmutt. And he's like, where the fuck am I? And then they show a display for Darkwing Duck, and it's just like, Darkwing Duck has no powers. Kind of an asshole. And he's like, fuck. And then they get to the Aquaman character, the fish, and she shows up. And there's like a big heist, and they get on each other's nerves trying to stop the heist. And now they're having a little competition that's going to continue into the next issue. This is just genuinely more Darkwing Duck. I love Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, that seems really neat. Very clever.
Yeah. I also read Moon Knight number 25.
Is that 25th issue thing supposed to be a joke?
No, it's a reference.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the author wanted to do something cool for the 25th issue. And what it is, there was a villain from the original Moon Knight run that appeared in the 25th issue that's a big important Moon Knight villain. And basically there's a new version of that guy, and he breaks the other versions of him, of that the people who've used that name out of jail.
Oh, so it's like the trickster in the Flash show.
Yeah. Um but also we get a cool flashback to Mark Spector being a mercenary and some other stuff. It's just a really good Moon Knight story. Moon Knight
New
good.
Mosquito.
Moon Knight good. I have not started the other new Moon Knight run that's going on. I don't know if they're going to be going on at the same time or if that is replacing this and this is done. I haven't looked into it, but I will in a moment and see the information.
Sick.
We both read Void Rivals #2.
This book is it's okay. I don't really get the hype outside of like the big reveal at the end of this, which it is a very cool like wow, somebody remembered that poll, but story wise I'm like this is just a kind of okay indie comic. This is not something I would be reading if it was not attached to Transformers and GI Joe.
You know what this is? This
What?
is just thematic prepping for Transformers.
Yeah, it really does feel that way.
It's just like, hey, conflicts like these happen, and aren't they kind of dumb? Aren't they
Mhm.
kind of dumb? Oh, hey, why are there Transformers characters showing up? It's almost as if we're prepping you for understanding how this conflict should be viewed when we actually start doing Transformers comics.
Yeah. Except it's going to be Daniel Warren Johnson writing it, so it's going to be fucking radical, dude.
But also heartbreaking as fuck, man.
Oh boy.
I liked it enough. I like their dynamic, the two main characters.
Hmm. I
Uh,
didn't really. I don't know. I didn't find myself getting super invested in the one guy's backstory. I was like, I've seen a lot of stories like this before, man.
yeah, but like the interaction between them on the planet, and then like slowly going like I've been taught to hate you, but you have given me no reason to. But there's like a part of me that doesn't trust you because of that, and we're trying to work past it. I like that dynamic.
Mhm.
And a pig shows up.
Yep. The friggin' Skuckzoid back in Transformers after how many goddamn years since G1 season 3?
And also, again, I ask, how much money do you want to bet that these are going to become the headmasters and the power masters?
I could see it. Though like the race does have two separate names. Now that I think about it, that could be like the planned ending for this book of like Kirkman might have an end game in mind of like when the Transformers book gets to a certain point that they're ready to introduce them, these guys these two unite their two races back into one race again, and they say we need a new name. What do we call ourselves? The Nebulons.
Yeah, who knows? It's interesting. I think it's interesting enough to give it like a look through every week, every time it comes out. If you're not that interested, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for you, you're not super invested in it, but like give it a look through and then you'll read it. I don't know.
Yeah. So that being said, if they go that direction, friggin' Zarek better show up and be like a villain in this book at some point.
We both read Doom Patrol issue 4.
This issue was fucking great.
It's just
I
therapy.
really loved the framing device and all the little peeks into all the different characters.
I like learning about Beast Girl because we hadn't learned anything about her yet.
Yeah, she's a character now. We understand who she is.
Yeah, I have a feeling that a lot of that is false bravado because she's like, "Oh no, everything's fine. I have a new family." It's just like, kid. No, I have a bad feeling about this.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. Her old family kicked her to the curb, and it was very traumatic.
Yeah. Uh, Degenerate's fun
Mhm.
as a try hard guy. It's fun seeing the classic guys being looked at and through. Basically going like, I am way too happy. That's not how my life is supposed to go.
Oh yeah, the whole thing with Rita particularly for me was like shit. I really feel for her here.
And basically just going like, Rita, you're suffering from survivor's guilt.
Hmm.
You're allowed to be happy. Don't you think you could do a better job being
Yeah.
happy?
Oh shit, I wonder why I really felt for a female character suffering from survivor's guilt.
Mm. And then finally, the chief comes in, and she goes like, "Hey, chief, you haven't done a therapy session. Do you want to do one?" No, I'm too busy. Oh, come on, Jane and all the alters really like doing it. Yeah, but Jane's fine. Jane's just fine. And Jane's in the mirror going like, I am not fine.
I am very much not fine, sir. So maybe, just like always, the chief is the secret asshole.
Hey. We both read Immortal X-Men number 13.
This fucking god damn it, dude.
It's like so many elements that you're just going like, yes, yes, yes. Oh fuck, no, no, no.
Why did somebody just post this entire issue to that subreddit?
Okay, basically, everyone's just like on edge and realizing Quiet Council's fucked. What if we just held public elections to rule Krakoa? And they're like, fuck, why didn't we do that in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
And like,
so they're deciding to dissolve the official one, and Krakoa itself is like, okay, I'm not going to kick you guys off, but I trust you guys. I don't know if I trust these new people that have come in since, and I don't know if I'm going to trust a whole bunch of new people. So I'm just take Doug and fuck off into myself.
Like, literally, they ask, like, Hope is reading Krakoa's mind, and it's just like, I'm keeping Doug safe. I care about Doug.
And it's like, sir and or madam, whatever you answer to, Krakoa thing.
It's a plan. It's probably both.
That man has a wife who will be very angry after this.
But everyone's just like, oh, we fucked up hard.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's such a good book.
Oh, man. I'm very excited to see where we go from here.
I read Black Panther number 2.
Hey, how was it? I didn't read it.
Hey, do you like Batman?
Yeah, he's fine.
This is Batman.
Okay.
He's in the Wakandan city. He has a seat. He has his own like good guy patch. Patches Malone.
Oh my
Matches
God.
Malone, I mean. His secret identity is now just a dude who works at like a restaurant and washes dishes. And he's just trying to protect Wakanda as much as he can while being exiled. And there's a cat thief villain now. It's fun. It's not bad.
I think somebody really wants a contract from DC.
No, it's Ewing. No, you're not allowed to have Ewing. Is that the right Ewing?
Please.
I don't know.
Please, can I
don't think this is right.
Can I have it on the weekends? Oh yeah, this is Eve Ewing.
Yeah. Wild's End.
Yes, second issue of Wild's End came out this week, and yeah, it's just straight up furry War of the Worlds.
Okay.
There's some very interesting character stuff. Obviously, the characters are very different from the original War of the Worlds because that story has Paper
Tom
Finn.
Cruise.
We're just fucking Christ. Yeah. But I'm still enjoying the characters themselves and like their interplay and what's going on and how we're learning about them. But this is literally just the War of Worlds plot, but with a bunch of new characters. And it's like, I can't get mad at you because that's a good plot, and I'm enjoying the ride. But like, god damn it, there's just nothing interesting about the mystery going on here. Yeah.
Okay, you know what the twist is going to be?
What's the twist?
The aliens are going to be humans.
I could see that. That could be interesting. Yeah, no. Right now,
If I called that,
well, let's see. Like I could see that, but the tripods are also a lot smaller in this version,
hmm,
and they're like lamp posts. It's very,
who
I don't
knows?
know.
But you're enjoying it at least on some level.
Yeah, it's a well written book. It is just like if you're going in expecting anything more than War of the Worlds with some interesting characters, don't.
All right. Oh man, look at this. Vax turning into a furry this episode.
Fucking Christ.
We both read Guardians of the Galaxy number 4.
We got the boy.
We got the
Our
very sad, depressed boy.
Yep, he's back. Everybody's favorite little trash panda is back, and oh man, he's been going through it. He's just been straight up Batmaning it.
Just dealing with Groot all on his own, like the Guardians have.
hmm And the Guardians have been right there the whole time, like, dude, we're willing to work with you. You're our friend, and he's like, no, I have to suffer alone.
Yeah. But
And then
hey,
he just gets fucking zapped into them at the end of this.
yeah, and Star-Lord's just like, dude, I've talked to Groot. We have made progress. Oh. Progress. Yeah,
Well done.
it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm really enjoying this run.
You read Hot Girl.
Yeah, Hot Girl #1 came out this week. This was surprisingly good. Because the impetus for the series is she is moving to Metropolis in order to try and start a new life, which is very hard for her because she's been reincarnated thousands of times and remembers all of her past lives. And a friend from there's an interesting framing device here where her Superman and Power Girl are all dealing with like a generic monster mash attack, and they're just kind of talking about like how Kendra has been dealing with adjusting to life in the big city again. And we get like all these little anecdotes from her throughout her day and stuff like that, and just kind of seeing how she's adjusting to things. And every time she says, yeah, no, I'm fine, or I'm getting along well, or some version of that, just cuts back to this one panel of her like in the fetal position in front of her couch on the floor in her apartment.
Ugh.
And it's like, she's dealing with some shit and she doesn't want to talk about it, but she really needs to. And there's some other really interesting scenes. Like she goes to reconnect from a friend from her college years in this life, and they've recently divorced their husband and come out as bisexual, and they try to go like, hey, I'm interested in you, would you want to start a relationship now that you're in the same city as me? And Kendra's just not ready for that because Hawkman just recently died. And it is a whole thing. It's a very interesting first issue. The art is kind of basic for this character, but still good. And I think this book has enormous potential. It could be like an all-time great book for this character, if they're able to follow up on the promise of this first issue. So I would say if you didn't read this, go back and read it. It is worth your time, and hopefully the rest of the series will be this good.
Hell yeah. We both read Teen Titans.
Yeah,
It's fun.
World's Finest Teen Titans.
World's Finest Teen Titans. It's fun. It's classic. It's early days Teen Titans, and it's those dynamics.
Yep, it is exactly what it says on the tin, and it's pretty solid. I like how realistically dickish all the guys are written. Not just Dick, but like, all of them have this slight twinge of, they're teenage boys. They don't understand like certain social cues, and they're gonna step over boundaries, and they have to be called on their bullshit. Like Kid Flash specifically, I think is written really well in this issue.
Yeah. And then there's a moment where they all go back to their mentors, and it's just like, oh, that's painful because it's just like Batman going like, you can't trust them. They're tools. Use them as such.
Mhm.
And it's just like, oh fuck.
Bruce, this is the reason why Dick left.
Yeah. And Roy is just, you think he's talking to Ollie the whole time, going like, "Oh, you'd be so proud of me, Ollie. I'm doing all the things you told me, Ollie." And then
Ollie's
Ollie's
a
not.
fucking deadbeat guardian. Remember that?
Yep. And then Kid Flash is Wally's just going like, "Oh man, everybody's so fucking cool." So he's just, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Also,
Donna Troy's just hopeful.
yeah, Donna Troy and Aqualad are dating. I don't know if that's ever been a thing in the books before, but it works surprisingly well.
Yeah. But it's good, it's solid, it's fun.
Yeah. It's Mark Wade doing a Mark Wade.
You read Starfire.
Yes, Tales of the Teen Titans, featuring Starfire. This is a miniseries where each individual issue is going to focus on a different member of the team. So this is a done in one about Starfire going out and helping with some shit on the Tamaranian colony, and just kind of delving into her character and her relationship with her people now that her planet's been destroyed and like she's technically the princess of nothing, but everybody still calls her princess and gives her all this respect that she doesn't even necessarily want. And just kind of dealing with some very interesting stuff that feels very analogous for certain social cues and stuff that we stress over in the real world. And it also like explained her powers in one of the best ways I've ever seen it taken, because like the explanation I've always been really familiar with for Starfire is the one from the 2000s cartoon of like, oh, her powers work because she experiences an emotion. You want to fly, you have to experience the joy of flying. Remember that body swap episode?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in this, it's like, my powers in the comics, apparently, her powers work fine no matter what, but she gets them because she's keyed into everyone's emotions. Not necessarily she's feeling off of them, but she's like an insanely powerful empath. And whenever somebody around her experiences an emotion, no matter what it is, she experiences it tenfold. So, like, she gets all the sadness anybody could handle. She gets all the joy, all the rage. It is all there in her all the time, and she's constantly walking a tightrope, kind of like she is with the social cue stuff and with her relationship with her people. And it's all very expertly navigated. I think it's a very well written issue that like made me interested in comic book Starfire in a way I've never really been. And the art is fucking gorgeous. I really dig the art style. The cover is not indicative of it. It's a much more cartoony, like very Darwin Cook-ish art style on the inside, and it is just right up my alley.
That's good. Did you enjoy it?
I like this a lot. I'd recommend checking out this issue. Oh fuck! Here we go.
It's all just basically, it's just the characters going like, "Oh man, Kamala Khan's a great character, isn't she? Shame she's dead now."
Wow.
I'm making it glib, but like all the Miss Marvel side characters have their own moment to grieve. Captain Marvel comes in and comforts them. Then we have like the champions moment where all the champions are together, and except Cyclops because he's off uh doing mutant shit. He's all going to resurrect her. Um where they're all basically going like, this is shit, this is fuck, I fucking hate it. And Viv has turned off her emotions. So she's just like,
Oh.
it's all right, it's whatever. And Amadeus just chews her the fuck out. It's like, why the fuck are you belittling our emotions? You can turn yours off. fuck you, like that kind of thing. And she goes like, all right,
Yeah.
fine, I'll turn him back on. And she gets all of the grief all at once, and she's like, oh god. And Amadeus is just immediately like, yeah, that's, yeah, what do you think we were feeling? And the
Yeah,
rest of them are like,
that's those characters. Fuck.
and like the rest of them are like, come on, Amadeus, she wasn't feeling them, and you goaded her into turning them on, and now she's running away, fucking crying. And Amadeus is like, I know, but like we're all feeling shit right now. And then we just see Viv outside of the building. She's crying on the ground, like on her knees on the ground, and you just see like a beep, and she just looks up, blank stare. She turned it back off. She couldn't handle it.
Damn.
Like, right? And then we have like what I'll call the Avengers section. Also Wolverine shows up in one of these bits. He just comes in traditional Muslim garb, speaks perfect Arabic. Kamala Khan's dad is like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And he's like, I know a shit ton of shit. Don't worry."
Yeah. That's cool.
And Iron Man shows up. He takes off his shoes, and he's just like dealing with it. It's just like she was too good of a kid. She like it's that kind of like the kids are all right. The kids will be better than us.
It feels very reminiscent of when Ultimate Spider-Man died, honestly, from what you're telling me.
Yeah. And then he sees Stephen Strange from across the room, and he goes up to Stephen and goes like, "Hey, you're magic. Can you fucking fix this? Can you bring her back?" And Stephen goes like, "No." And Tony's just like, "What? You didn't even try?" He's like, "No, it is taking everything in my being not to try. Magic has consequences, and we don't know what would happen. You don't think I wouldn't want to bring her back and make that family whole again if I could?"
Mm.
Very Stephen Strange, very like perfect. Captain America says something wise and comforting for everybody. Just like she was a hero to all of us, all that kind of stuff. They hear a noise outside, and it's one of the wreckers.
Okay.
breaking a car and doing some crime.
He's just like, I'm just doing a crime, man.
And all the heroes just immediately like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I surrender. Oh, and here's the fuckboy shit. Peter Parker's late. He's web slinging.
Damn it, Peter.
Yeah, he's web slinging in, and he's going like, "Hello, my name is Peter. I'm Peter Parker. Your daughter was my intern." No, that's not right. "Hello, I'm Peter Parker. Your daughter was my friend." No, they don't know me. Also, I'm way older than her. It'd be a little weird. Right. So he walks up. He's back as Peter Parker. He shakes Kamala Khan's dad's hand and says, "Hi, I'm Peter Parker. Your daughter was my hero."
Oh.
And like that line, that's such a Peter Parker line. It's so good. Why do these good lines happen in shit books?
I don't know, man. That's just the way it is right now with anything remotely related to Peter Benjamin Parker.
But yeah. So overall, it is a well-written, sad love letter to a character that they already announced is coming back, and it's ultimately pointless.
Why are comics like this?
It's all right. It's okay to read. Whatever.
You literally could have just had Cerebro go, "Hey, we detected a new mutant. Oh, fuck, it's Kamala. And now the Inhumans are here and they're pissed at us again. What'll we do?"
Well, I mean,
that would have been way better.
The only Inhumans left are the royal family, and they fucked off the space.
Yeah, so
you read Godzilla Rivals, and this is the last book of the evening.
Oh, hey, yeah, Godzilla Rivals, Biolante versus Destroya. This is really cool, actually, because it's not like trying to play off of any specific movie continuity, even though these two monsters are like very specifically Heisei era Godzilla monsters. It is taking the backstory of them from their movies, and it's doing kind of an original thing with them, where it's like essentially they're trying to bioengineer a new kind of weapon using Biolante cells, and then divorced from that, a Destroyer thing starts popping off, and they have to use Biolante to get it under control, and it's like all framed through these cute kind of scientist characters who are all like really fun and interesting.
Is it these hoopty fruits right up front?
Yeah, it's the Hoopty Froods themselves, and
Look at that guy. He looks like he's skanking to some ska.
a little bit,
He's
yeah.
even got the checker Vans.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Jimmy Olsen type. Um, but overall, really, really solid, done in one. I would recommend checking it out if you're a Godzilla fan.
Hell yeah. But that's all the comics we had for this week, buddies, people's pals. Guess
Oh
what?
my god!
That's not the only thing we have for you. In fact, tell them what else they've won.
Hey everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos. They're things I'm sort of proud of sometimes. I didn't do a video this week because a thing happened. I did a stream. You can go watch that stream and all my old videos on youtube.com at the Vacuuminator. I'm also on TikTok posting clips of my older videos at the _Vacuuminator, and at the _Vacuuminator is also the username for where I post my figure photography on Instagram, and I've got a Twitter and a Tumblr where all that content gets aggregated. It's at the Vacuuminator on Twitter and thevacuuminator.tumblr.com.
Hey, howdy. I'm Boingo. I do a variety of things on the internet. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/BoingoWriter. I post videos on the YouTube, weekly Kamen Rider reviews, as well as video essays when they get made, including this week. There's a video essay this week. Huzzah, hooray. What else do I do? Fuck. I'm on social media.
What is it that you do here, Boingo Rider?
I'm also on social media, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Boingo_Writer. I'm also on Mastodon. You can follow me there at Boingo_Writer at vt.social. You can also follow me on Tumblr. Link is in the description below. And what else? That's about it in terms of social media presences. This has been No Price Podcast, where we talk about comics and shit. We also have other podcasts, including but not limited to Components. It's a weekly hangout sesh, comedy podcast. We tell jokes to each other. We also sometimes geek out about toys. We also have Analytical Fanboys once a month media cast, where one person picks a piece of media, shares it with the others, and we have to talk about it. This month is G.I. Joe. What's the thing?
Arise, Serpentor, Arise, the 5-part season 2 premiere of the original Zumbo cartoon.
Alrighty. We're watching that shit. We also have another podcast called Twit, This Week in Toku, where Vac and Buster talk about the week's proceedings of Tokusatsu. There is also another podcast. We have so many podcasts. Please tell the people about Saturday Morning Panels.
Saturday Morning Panels is a podcast where myself and Snowcone83 once a month discuss the classic issues of Marvel, G.I. Joe, and Transformers comics, as well as discussing recent news and new releases for those properties.
How many podcasts will we need before we have to start deciding which one to cut when we're promoting them at the end of one?
We're getting close.
We're getting there. We're getting there eventually. But if you could, please, as always, like, comment, subscribe to this and any other video we do. It really helps us out. It does a lot of things. Hey, also, if you think someone would be interested in any of these podcasts, give them a share with them. Just tell them about it.
Yeah, share the links.
Word of mouth is the most important form of advertising that you can possibly do. What else? Follow us on Twitter at the Modular Media. We don't have any social. We follow it to Tumblr.
Tumblr at Modular Media. TikTok at Modular Media.
Anything else you want to say, Vac?
I already work around the clock.
Enough said.